Hello, good morning. Um, Adrienne from Jaskiran Astrology here, and I've come to tell you about today's full moon. I'm a little late recording. Been traveling a little bit, so uh, yeah, it's a big moon. It really is connecting us with what's happening on the inside. Um, and yeah, let's just get into the chart. Let me pull that up for us. Okay, here it is. The new moon is today, the 25th. It happened at 6:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So a little bit more than an hour ago, we hit the new moon. Um, what can I say? Jupiter is right on the tail of this new moon, and it's in a closing phase. And so Jupiter for the new moon was at the 0 degrees Cancer mark. And we've moved in a few degrees, and now we are connecting. So we're connecting with this new moon. So we were sort of introduced to this expansion of the inner world, of the Cancerian um, parts of ourselves. And um, now at this new moon, we are really beginning the dive into this inner world. So Cancer, the inner world, is about the emotions. It's about what we feel. And it's very much linked to the heart. We feel with our hearts. And I think that with this new moon, we are beginning a new cycle of feeling with our heart. And because Jupiter's there, that's an expansion. It's like there's something more in the heart than we have been previously aware of. And it's linked to, our intuition, whatever's happening on the inside. So I feel like this new moon is really bringing us deep into the heart and into this space where we can feel what's happening. Because when you look at the external world, there is this just flood of information. And it's really difficult at this time to discern with our brains what is real, what is not real, what is true, what is not true, etc. And so it comes in this new moon and Jupiter conjunction comes in at a time when it's really becoming increasingly difficult to navigate what's happening with our brains on the outside. So here we go. We're being brought inward to the way that we feel. And it's really enlivening this heart-mind connection because we'll always use our mind to, figure things out and discern what is best for us to do. But when we bring our hearts into the picture, like how does it really feel? It adds to our ability to navigate what's happening in the world around us. A couple of things are also pointing to this. I felt like this whole chart was really um, pointing to this energy of diving inward. When you look at Mercury down here, Mercury is coming up to its last degrees of Cancer, and it will later today move into Leo. And so there's an intensity in these end degrees, and Mercury is about the mind. It's about how we perceive the world around us, and it is linking to Cancer. That, these four planets in Cancer are really showing us that we have to move into the heart to help us discern what's happening out on the reality, on the external world. Um, I want to jump and talk about Pluto, because Pluto is this underlying push, like the gravity of the direction of evolution for each one of us individually and in the collective. It is the driving force of evolution. And Pluto in Aquarius is showing us that the intention of evolution is to individuate each of us. We've spent millennia being within these groups and trying to fit in to the same uh, puzzle, trying to fit into the same thing. And as a result, we each individually have been smashing parts of ourselves down, really pushing them down because they don't actually fit in with the world that's at large. What's happening now with this Pluto and Aquarius is we are really, since I started recognizing it when we had the full moon in Scorpio um, earlier, and it was about digging up some of these submerged parts of ourselves. And this is like the recovery of who we are. We've all been conditioned by generations and generations of people that have kept us in this place. But that place causes us damage to ourselves because we literally are walling off parts of ourselves. And so Pluto, this 20-year journey with Pluto and Aquarius, which is 19 years left, um, is helping us to break free from the limitations that have kept us from being um, our unique selves. We're all intended. We came in with these particular birth charts. We came in to be this very particular self. And because of the conditioning that we receive, a lot of that gets smothered down, and it leads to emotional difficulties, mental difficulties, um, many kinds of challenges. And so Pluto's asking us to break free from all of that. We're just breaking free from that. And when we start to peel off the layers, what we come to is the inner child, the what is at the center of our hearts. This is the pure child, the pure, authentic sense of self that is our purpose, or our divine purpose. And that's the goal of Pluto. The opposition point of Pluto is the direction of evolution, and it is in Leo. Therefore, the direction of evolution is to come into the heart, into our true, pure, authentic selves. Chiron in Aries is also pointing to that. We are needing to heal a wound that prevents us from being our true selves, being our spontaneous and instinctual selves. And so there's a lot of energy pointing to this heart. There's also a lot of energy pointing to this stellium that's up top here. This Saturn and Neptune coming together, conjunction. Saturn is still conjunct. No, is it? Nope, it's moved out of conjunction with the North Node, but both of these planets have coalesced the energy of crystallizing Saturn, our new sense of self, our new expression, this spontaneous expression that will come from within us. And this expression is really aligned with Piscean principles. So Pisces is about the complete energy source. It's the completion, the whole. And this new self is going to be aligned with this idea of completion. If you look at the South Node is in Virgo. The South Node tells us where we've come from. We've come from this consciousness where uh, we've been ex experiencing ourselves as separate from each other, from the earth, from consciousness. We're these separate beings, and it's led to where we are now. And it's all purposeful. There are no mistakes in the reality. Um, but now we're moving into the North Node in Pisces. We're integrating this future self, which is aligned with an idea and the consciousness of oneness, where we are individuals, parts, very specific and purposeful parts of a whole, of which once we uncover all of the damage from smothering our parts down, I believe what we will find is each of us has a very specific role to play in this journey, and that as each of us get to begin participating in the reality in this way, our world will change very, very rapidly. Or rapidly, for us, it will, not rapidly. That's probably incorrect for me to say, but it will begin the process of change. What else did I want to talk about? Uh, yeah, two big things that are happening here I found pretty interesting. So there are two Yod configurations. There's one of them where Pluto is the vertex. Pluto is the point of change and growth. And on this side, it's Mars, this inconjunct. And inconjuncts are blind spots. They are creating crisis in our lives because we can't see what's causing it. It's just something that it's like we have to turn our head to look and see. It's like the blind spot in a car when you're driving. In order to see in your blind spot, you literally have to make an adjustment to your body. This inconjuncts are very much like that. We have to make an adjustment so that we can see what's happening. And what Mars is asking us to do is to really, so Mars has recently moved into Virgo. And Mars is asking us to really discern, to act in a way that discerns the reality. So, and I've been thinking about this. It's like Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so it's related to the mind. It's how we discern the reality in our mind. And this new moon is really asking us, and you'll see that the other side of this yod is pointing to the new moon. This new moon is asking us to really expand the inner world, to really feel our emotions, and to adjust ourselves, to adjust. If we continue to follow our minds, I think that we will experience crisis. And I think that really taking the time to listen to what your heart says is the answer here. The other yod, which is interesting, is Mars. And before I go into that, I just want to talk a little bit about how Pluto is this undercurrent, this direction of the soul and of evolution, and Mars is like boots on the ground. It's the way that we act in a way to carry out Pluto's intention. And so Mars and Pluto are very interlinked. And I find it interesting that both of them are the vertex of these yods. And yeah, so essentially, in order to break free of our conditioning, Mars is asking us to shift, turn our heads, and look at something different, pay attention to something different. If I put Mercury back up on the page, Mercury is telling us to go inward. This stellium is also focusing us on the internal waters, how we feel in our reality, and to really focus on that because it is, the other part of the brain-heart connection, the mind-heart connection. And as we bring this into fruition, we will be creating and using an internal navigation system. And as this external world becomes increasingly hard to discern what's really happening, the internal system is really going to help us to guide what is unique to each one of us, because each of us has Cancer in our chart. Each of us has a moon. Each of us has a sun. And each of us is really focusing on our inner worlds. And because we are all completely different, our inner worlds are going to tell us different messages. And that's okay. We just have to follow those inner messages for ourselves. So yeah, I think that's really the gist of what I wanted to talk about. Um, with this chart, there are other details, and if you want to learn more about my interpretation of all of these planets, you can check out my Substack account. I will put it in the comments below, and it really details what I'm talking about a little bit better. If you're ever interested in having me look at your chart and see how these planets are really affecting you personally, because they are transits for us individually. You can reach out to me at jaskiranastrology.com, and I will put that link also in the comments below. I hope that I'm going to stop the share. Yeah, I hope that this was informative for you and that you aligned. If you didn't align, that's okay. We're all different creatures, and yeah, I'm just putting out my point of view. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.